Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, how's everybody doing? Today, it is 68 degrees. It is February 15th. It's a lovely day for a ride. So, welcome back to the ride of a lifetime. I guess that's the intro. So, welcome back to the ride of a lifetime. I'm Jeremiah. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. As of recording this video, I'm at 117, and I want to thank everybody for subscribing. It's blowing my mind, but I'd like to thank everybody for subscribing. You guys are great. In today's video, ooh, look at that. That's really nice. I like that. So as you guys can see from the title of this video, you guys are here because you're wondering if this is a great beginner bike. This is coming from somebody who was a beginner when they first got this bike. So, but before we get into that, as you guys can see, look, I have a Insta360 on the handlebar, so now you guys will have another angle. I thought about getting my GoPro Hero 5 that I had on my helmet. Oh, speaking of that, I put on the GoPro Hero 11 on my helmet cam, so you guys will have a wider view of the road and the bike itself. So I hope that that is awesome and you guys are liking that. And I wanted to get another camera because of having a front-facing camera for you guys, so you guys can see another angle of me. So but before we get started in today's video, I gotta fill up the tires because the weather has just been fluctuating so much, so we're gonna do that really quick. All right, well, now that's all done. Ooh, you can't go out that way. You can go out this way though. Just wasn't paying attention. I was looking down at my gauge. So you're here because you want to know if the Rebel 1100 is a good beginner bike. This is from a beginner. If you guys haven't seen this video, I talked about how I kind of got started riding and how I got my bike and everything like that. So if you guys want, that's another video explaining all of that. But I had a comment from someone that said, hey, I'm wondering if this is actually a good bike for me. And those guys were cool. They give me a thumbs up. I don't know why. But anyway, so man, the wind is going today. But anyway, I hope the wind isn't too bad, but I'll keep talking. But anyway, I had somebody put a comment down below that said, hey, I'm wondering if this is a good beginner bike for me. And you're the only person who really can answer that. But what he said in there was, hey, I'm planning on doing this, and I wonder if I just put it in the other riding modes and get used to how the bike feels and how everything is, then and then go up to maybe like the sport or the standard or the sport. And I said, dude, I love this comment. And my response was, I love this comment because this is exactly what I did. Like, I hadn't rode before other than the MSF course, and basically what I did was I took that course and then I finally was able to go get a bike. But that is exactly what I did. When I left from the dealership, I put it in rain mode so I could get used to the bike. The weight wasn't anything for me to really for me to like worry about, because it's only like 500 pounds, and where I work, I've actually had to move grand pianos and that kind of thing, so I've had to move really heavy stuff. I was like, okay, well, I'll look at that, and it was like, oh, it's 500 pounds. So I got on the bike and instantly I was like, oh my gosh, I can move this thing around, which is probably one of my favorite things. Like this thing is so like flickable, if that's even a word. But it's so flickable because you can literally just, if I need to do something really quick and get out of the way or anything, I can do that. And like, this is a perfect example. So like, if I had two cars around me and I needed to get over, I can just flick it and get around. But I mean, I've been in worse situations than that, and it's nice to be able to move it really easily. You don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, I left from the dealership, put it in rain mode, and rain mode was great because I got to be able to experience the bike without the full power. Sorry if you guys are hearing a little like zzz sound or whatever. That is actually the windscreen hitting the plastic right there. So yeah, I left from the dealership and put it in rain mode, and it was great. I left there like that because it has, hold on, let me put it in rain mode so you guys can actually see. So let's see, there's standard, there's rain. So Now I'm in rain. As you can see, it has the least amount of power, the most amount of traction control, and engine brake, least amount of engine braking. So it really gets to where it's not, let me get past this guy. It's not to where it's unmanageable at all. Like you could put it in second and let the bike kind of bring you down a little bit in speed. But anyway, it has the least amount of that, so it doesn't pull you as much. Like you don't get jarred. And the power, obviously, it doesn't have all the power that it has, but if you pull on the throttle and actually give it gas, all that power is available to you. But when you have it in that mode, it's not jerky. So even if you pull the throttle, like you could probably see from me, I don't know with the stabilization on and everything, but when it's in the other modes and you pull the throttle, it'll jerk you like that. I know it probably wouldn't be stable if I moved my head like that, but that's actually what it does. So so I kept it in rain mode for probably the first 2 to 3 weeks, and that really helped me get used to the bike. But I was able to get used to the weight and used to the amount of power, and then in about 2 to 3 weeks I switched it from rain mode to like standard mode just to see what that was like, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't too bad. But then I was going down a stretch going to the college that's in town, and I was going to one of those, and I was on just pretty much a straight stretch, no traffic around, and I was like, I wonder how the sport mode is. I put it in sport mode, and yeah, that putting all the power actually there and seeing how it was, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing will buck if you want it to. So it was really cool. If you are a beginner rider, I would not do that. I would not put it in sport mode whatsoever, because it actually will buck you, and if you're not strong enough to hold onto the bars and have the willpower to just let go of the throttle, like let it go so you're not adding anymore, if you don't have the willpower to do that, then that's probably not a good thing to put it in sport mode. So that is one thing for sure, is that the different riding modes definitely help break you into the bike, if that makes sense. So as a beginner rider, doing that, changing the mode to rain mode and riding it for that way for 2 to 3 weeks, I totally recommend. Don't put it in the other modes if you're not comfortable. If you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just put it in that mode just to kind of, yeah, whatever. Don't do it. Just wait until you're comfortable enough. You ride at your own pace. So ride when you think that you're ready to switch to the other modes, then do that. And I guarantee you'll thank me for that later. And what that comment also said is that he didn't want to get a Rebel 500 and then in 2 to 3 months want the 1100, and that's exactly what I did. I was at the point, well, there's an ambulance back there, but I was at the point where I don't want to get the 500 and want to upgrade and then be like, oh, I regret getting the 500 because now I'm bored with it, and it doesn't have that much power. It's not, I can't go on the highway with it very much. This is coming from a guy who weighs 290 pounds. I'm 5'11". So if you were wondering on that front of how the power actually handles. But something also that you got to look at is the price of it. If the price is an issue, then get the 500, It's still a good introduction to a bike, and it has enough power to kind of go on the highway at like 50, 60. I've seen videos of people doing that and doing just fine. So 65 really is what I've seen. So I couldn't have pictured myself with another bike. I really couldn't have. I want to see if that guy wants to race. But yeah, anyway, let me know down below if you guys have any questions about the Rebel 1100 or just my experience with it. I'm planning on doing a couple more videos on my review of this. I love the bike, if you're curious and wanted to know, and that kind of thing. I do love the bike. It's freaking awesome. So but anyway, I'm gonna enjoy the weather, ride around for a little bit, have fun. If it's nice where you're at, go out and ride, do the thing. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. I will catch you guys on the next ride. Peace. Go out and enjoy the nice weather. It's lovely out.